Today, I want to talk about the relationship with money. Um, I know this might be a touchy subject for some people, but if you think about it, um, everything is energy. Energy is only transferred. So, what are the different forms of energy? Well, if you look at it in terms of elements, there are, let's see, so there's fire, water, earth, air. So that's the four elements, but you also have spirit, so like your soul. But everything that is on this earth 3D realm comes from those elements. Anything that was created was from those elements. Um, so, like I said, energy is only just transferred. So when you think about money, money is also energy. So money is like a physical representation. So it would be earth because it's something you can touch, right? Depends on what form you're using because it can also be digital, like numbers. Just a bank account is just numbers, and that represents basically how much energy you have. But your thoughts. So how are things created? Things are created through your mind. Your mind is air. Air represents your thoughts. So everything first was an idea. Somebody had to have an idea, and then they had to use a different element. So they had to use some type of earth, um, and move things around and create whatever idea they wanted. So that's basically how things are created in terms of elements. Water is emotions, so that would be energy in motion, uh, because it's a transfer of energy. So basically, you have a feeling, or no, you have a thought, and then that makes you feel something. So that's the energy in motion because the thought gave you a feeling, and that's how you create. Because when you have feelings, it makes you take action. Uh, it can agitate you to move, but it can also slow you down. Like it can bring you down, so like depressed. That's why it's called energy in motion, emotions. But fire would represent like your desires, your will, um, things like that, like sexual energy. But all of these things are used in different ways, put together to create. So, like I said, money is just energy, um, and it's being transferred. So you're creating something with whatever resources you have, and you are giving that to other people. So it's like a service. Whatever you're doing, it could be a service, it could be anything really. And money is just what people give you. So it's another form of energy. Let's say, um, you make cookies. This is just a simple. So you're using your resources and you're making cookies. That's the earth element. So that's a product you have. And then now you're going to sell these cookies to other people. That's what you have to offer. You're offering something. And then money is just what people give you in return. It's basically, that's basically all it is. It's just a transference of energy. You're offering something, so that's basically your energy. You're giving it away, and then people are giving you their energy, which is money. So the thing that people need to realize is value. Value is very specific to the person. Um, what one person sees as valuable could be useless to the next person. But this also brings me to the point of being chosen. So how I relate to being chosen is you're chosen by God or you're chosen by your bloodline. Um, but either way, being chosen means you have a purpose. So if you're chosen by your bloodline, your purpose is probably to break a generational curse. A generational curse could be something like your whole family lives in a certain area, so you're going to be the first one to move away, or you're going to be the first one in your family to go to college, go to school, something like that. It's normally something out of the norm, and you're going to be the first one to do it. So, similar situation to God. So, let's say you're chosen by God. This is similar but also different because it doesn't have to be that you are the first person to do it, but you are going to be doing something. Normally, it's on a bigger scale. So, it could just be energetic. Like, you're here to raise the vibration of other people. Um, so if you believe in God, then that means you also believe in the devil. Like there's balance, laws of the universe. You cannot have one thing without the other. So when you have good, you also have bad. So um, that's kind of just basically how it is. The devil balances out God. Um, so everyone has a purpose. Whether you know this or not, you serve a purpose. That's how it is in the world, really. I mean, is you have to choose what side you're on. You're on God's side or you're on the devil's side. Um, and normally people operate within those realms. I mean, that's normally how it is. You're either with God or you're against God. So with the devil. But anyway, so if you're chosen by God, you have a purpose of raising the vibration or doing something to serve the greater collective of everyone. So that doesn't really just mean like, oh, the greater collective of just the United States, if that's where you live. It could be the greater collective of the whole earth. Or it could also just be the collective of your particular area, wherever you live. It's very specific to you. It's going to be kind of natural, something that you kind of just enjoy doing. It's easy to you. It's not going to be hard. But there might be some type of resistance. That's the devil. So the devil is creates doubt. Um, you will doubt your purpose. That's kind of just part of it too, as well. Until you fully step into who you are, your identity, um, and operate out of that. A lot of times, your purpose comes from things that you've gone through in your life, and you are fulfilling that purpose by helping others. Maybe you're educating them to not go down the same path, or maybe you're educating people on what you learned. Something to do with, like I said, raising the vibration and helping other people. That's normally what it is. Um, so yeah, that's, and then you'll kind of know too. It's because it's unique to you. Like you'll be given an idea. So like air, the element of air, it's thoughts. You'll be given some type of idea that you just want to do, and it's like a desire. So it's like air and fire. Fire is desire. So it's something that you just feel really called to do. um but it's also something that's easy to you, something you like to do. It's not like you're being pushed to do this. It's just kind of along your path. It's just kind of makes sense, if that makes sense. But yeah, so everything is just energy. It's always just transferring energy. And then there's also different states of consciousness. So there's, you can look this up on Google, YouTube. States of consciousness would be something like victim mindset, but then on the top of the pyramid. So victim mindset is on the bottom. And then as you go up, the most enlightened mindset would be that you are God. Um, Pretty much everything is God, and you are God. So if that interests you, look that up. Like I said, you could go on Google to check that out. But um, yeah, so fears about money. So depending on where you are in the state of consciousness, so if you're a victim, victim would be like, oh, this is happening to me, and I don't have control. So it's would be pretty much learned helplessness. Like you feel helpless. You can There's nothing you can do about it. This is taught to you, like you're conditioned to think this. I mean, uh, it's very it's very manipulative. Like you are conditioned to think this, based on control. So um, basically, somebody wants to control you because they get something from you. What do they get from you? They get energy, right? They get your money, they get your time, there's something happening there where the person who's controlling you gets something from you. If not, then why would they even want to control you in the first place? But so fear is a technique of the devil to control you. What is the tactic being used? So scarcity. So that is the mindset of not having enough, like you won't be provided for. This also deals with consciousness. So when you operate out of the consciousness that you're God, there is no fear because everything around you is God. And then you know that there's energy around you that can be used at any point in time. You just have to manipulate the energy, which means change it into whatever form you want, and then more energy will come to you. It kind of sounds basic, but that's the point. Like, a lot of people complicate things, but when you think about things in terms of basic, it makes it a lot easier because your mind likes to kind of complicate things. I mean, your mind is a machine, and the machine is used to solving problems. But like I said, conditioning, you can be conditioned to think that you're not smart enough, you're not good enough, you're helpless. So that's another thing too, is mindset. Mindset can be also limiting beliefs. It can be limiting you and keeping you in the box. The box of victim mindset, the box of whatever the box is for you. It's different for different people. But fear, doubt, those, I call those demons because that's basically what it is. It's the devil manifesting in that emotion. So what does doubt do? Doubt makes you second guess yourself. It makes you not take action. So that is holding you back um, from maybe being on your path, or is just holding you back altogether. These are things that you kind of have to look at. It's definitely a process. It's not gonna happen overnight. Um, you have to pretty much have faith. So I'll relate this to the law of attraction. So law of attraction says there's three things you have to do. You have to ask for what you want, so you have to set an intention. This is what I want. Then you have to believe that you're going to get it. Like, you can even get that's possible, but you also have to take the action. And then the last thing would be to receive. So you're setting an intention, you're believing that you can even have that's possible, you're taking the right actions, and then you're receiving. Um, Basically, that's what it is. I think to fully be able to manifest and attract what you want, you have to be in alignment with yourself, which means your identity. You have to be solidified in your identity, which also means DNA expression. So you have to know your ancestors, where they came from. You have to honor your DNA. So everything about yourself, you have to honor that. And then you also have to do shadow work. Shadow work is also dealing with your trauma, um, whatever doubts and things you have. So all of that is under shadow work. To even manifest, you have to work on that. I think. I mean, there's people have different views on this, but I think to truly manifest what you truly desire, like your soul's desires, which is probably love, freedom, it's going to be things like that. It's not really going to be like, I want a new house or I want a brand new car. I mean, that's an illusion. You want those things based on other deeper feelings. So, like, you want a house. Why do you want the house? You want the house because you want space and you want freedom. So what you really want is you want the emotion, the feeling of being free. You want the emotion, the feeling of having space. That's why I say it's an illusion, because you think that you want that, but the actual feeling, the actual emotion, energy in motion is different. So you need to really look at what do you want, because it's not always what you think. Like what you think you want might not be what you really want, which is where the shadow work comes in, because then you know yourself more, you know why you make choices that you make. So for instance, let's say you stay at a job. You know this job is not serving you. You know you're not happy, which is bringing you down. It's making you depressed. So then when, let's say you're married and you have kids, when you go home, you have to kind of shut down. You have to leave everything at work. So it's like you're living like two separate lives. You have a home life and then you have a work life. When really it should just be one life. That's where it's talking about alignment. You should be living one life. You're not putting on a mask to go to work and then taking off the mask to come back home. Like that's creates conflict, internal conflict, and that will manifest. So the thing about law of attraction, it works both ways. It works if you're in alignment, but it also works if you're out of alignment. If you're in alignment, you will manifest things that are in alignment. If you're out of alignment, you will manifest things that are out of alignment. A lot of people don't want to do shadow work. Shadow work is hard. It's gruesome. It's not rainbows and sunshine all the time. It's dark. You're looking yourself in the mirror and being completely honest with yourself about what happened to you, how you played a role in that, and then now forgiving yourself and others for whatever happened and moving forward and healing. That's all it is. It's you're healing the wound. Maybe it's a childhood wound. Whatever wounds you have, whatever trauma, you're healing that to move forward so you can operate out of love and acceptance. And then authenticity. Authenticity is like the highest vibration next to love. So when you're talking about manifestation, it goes on feelings, right? So if you feel authentic, you feel just yourself, you're gonna attract things that align with that, and then that'll be basically the life that you want. So that's all what it's about, is about being authentic to yourself, working on the shadow work, whatever demons you have to face head on, things like that. But money, it's all about mindset, really. It just comes down to your mindset. How do you view money? Do you view money as like kind of like a chain and a ball? It's you can't do anything without money and you need money. It's true, yes, but there's also an abundance of money. There's abundance of energy. That's why I say to look at it in terms of energy, because even just looking at money in terms of money like that, that can be a limiting mindset. If you change your mindset, change your perspective, you can manifest and it'll change your reality, because the vibration you're in has now changed. So instead of it being a ball and chain, you're looking at it as free flowing. There's energy all around. So all I have to do is just use this energy to create, and then that will manifest having more of whatever it is you want. So this video was kind of a little bit all over the place, but hopefully you got the overall message, which is mindset, shadow work, and then demons. That's basically it. But yeah, go to my website if you're interested in any of my services. Share these videos. I'm trying to grow the channel. Also, tell other people about it. Comment, like, share. Let me know what you think. Be on the lookout for other content as well, and I'll see you on the next video.